Hey everyone, how y'all doing? Welcome back to my channel, and welcome to episode 3 in my Which BookTube Friend Knows My Reading Tastes the Best vlog series. So this is a vlog series that I have on my channel where I basically pit two of my bookish friends against each other to basically see who knows my reading tastes the best. I guess it's pretty self-explanatory, but basically each person picks two books that they love that they think I'm also gonna love, and then by the end of the video we see which books I loved more and we crown a winner. So I'll link above the playlist for the previous two episodes in this series, and you should definitely go watch those ones before this one if you haven't seen them already. But the reigning champion so far is Peyton from Peyton Reads. So in this video I'm pitting her against my friend Aza from Aza All Booked over on Instagram. I'll link everybody's information down below. I am so excited for this episode because Peyton, this is her third episode, so stakes are high. You know, she wants to keep her title. She's very serious about keeping her titles, so I think that's going to be really interesting. And then me and Aza have really similar reading tastes, so I just think it's going to make for a really interesting competition between these two. I am so excited. I have been working on this video for a really long time, like years, which is really embarrassing, but I don't know. I don't have an explanation for why it took me so long to read these books, but it's okay. Here we are. So first we have Peyton's picks, and she picked Grown by Tiffany D. Jackson and A Good Girl's Guide to Murder by Holly Jackson. And then we have Aza's picks, and she picked You Have a Match by Emma Lord, as well as Let's Talk About Love by Claire Kahn. And yeah, I just think that this is going to make for such an interesting video. So I think that we're going to start off with Peyton's books, since she is the reigning champion of this video series. So yeah, let's roll the clip where Peyton tells me why she thinks I'm going to love these books.
Hi Brittany and Bookers, it's Peyton from Peyton Reads, and today I'm here to recommend some books to Miss Brittany. Will she like them? She should, if she's right. I have two books today. I've been telling her to read them for a while. This video has been in the process for a while, and we're finally getting there, guys. The first one that I'm super excited for her to read is A Good Girl's Guide to Murder by Holly Jackson. I've been screaming at her to read this book since I read it, because I personally read it in like one sitting. I read it and I just stayed up till like 6 a.m. in the morning to read it, and I told everybody they had to read it. This book I think Brittany will like, because while thrillers are probably not her normal thing that she goes for, it is really fast paced and the plot gets you going, but the characters are also really good. The main character, Pip, she's very smart. A lot of books like these do not have a very smart main character, and that just makes me annoyed. Like, it just makes you want to scream at the book and tell them why are they so stupid. And I also think she'll like this book because there is a cute romance throughout this book. It's a trilogy about a girl who is solving little murder mysteries in her town. She ends up getting a little podcast as well, and she has a little true crime situation. All the bad things happen to her, and she has a partner in crime, Robbie, and it's a cute little romance, and I just think she'll enjoy the romance aspect. While the story you can't stop turning the pages, you also just love the characters and you get to enjoy them throughout the whole trilogy. The second book that I'm recommending to Brittany, I think she'll like as well, because Grown by Tiffany D. Jackson is written by Tiffany D. Jackson, and Brittany is the one that told me to start reading Tiffany D. Jackson. She hadn't read this book before me though. It was like one of her newer releases at the time, and we both really loved Monday's Not Coming by this author. She can really write a really good book. Like, she hurts you so deeply because she gets you to care so much about the characters, and that's why I think she'll like this book, just because I already know she has a history with Tiffany D. Jackson and really likes her writing style and the way that she does what she does. But this one I just really connected to the main character. It's about a young pop artist who starts to get manipulated by this creepy musician guy. You know how music producers like start to get really creepy and like just manipulate really young girls because they're wanting to be famous, and like it's pedophilia, and it's a really dark, horrific story, but like it's an important one, and a lot of trigger warnings. Obviously, it's one that's very difficult to read, but it's a very heavy-hitting, important story, and I think she is going to really enjoy it. It's hard to say enjoy when it's such a dark story, but it's a really great book, and Tiffany D. Jackson is amazing. So those are my two book recommendations for Brittany, and if she doesn't like them and choose me as the winner of this video, she's just not right. Bye.
Okay, so I'm just 2 hours into the audiobook for Goodwills Guide to Murder. I don't have that many opinions on it so far, but I did just want to make a quick update about it. So I did not realize that the audiobook was like a full cast almost. So it's very similar, I would say, to the Sadie audiobook, where like there's like voice recordings and like interviews conducted with people, and it sounds like it's actually like coming through a phone or coming through her voice recorder, and I'm really enjoying that aspect of it. I don't love the third person for some reason with this book. I really don't know why. I think it's because we do get to like see some of her like journals that she's writing, our main character Pippa, but then it actually switches back to the third person narrative, and for some reason that's really throwing me off. Maybe it would be better if I was reading it physically, but listening to it is kind of weirding me out. Like it's just not meshing fully. So I went into this book relatively blind, just kind of knowing that our main character Pippa was like investigating a murder or something, but I didn't like look into it too much. But I don't normally read mysteries, but I have read a few, and I've been getting a bit more into it recently. I read the Truly Devious series and absolutely adored it. Like I'm obsessed with it, so I'm hoping to get to the same level of obsessiveness with this series, because I feel like it's going to be a really fun time, really quick reads. So I'm really looking forward to the rest of this book, and I'm hoping that I love it. I do think it would be fun to like read along with the physical book, but unfortunately the wait time at the library is just too long. I did have it checked out a little bit ago, but I got sick and my hold on it ran out, so I had to go return it without being able to read it, so that sucked. But I think I'll get used to the audiobook. I do like how it is like a full cast. That was like one of my favorite things about the Sadie audiobook, and just the way it was produced and created. So I'm really glad that this one is kind of following a similar structure. So yeah, I'm very intrigued to know what my thoughts going forward are. Already I'm very intrigued by this whole murder thing that's going on, and I do desperately want to know what's going on with it. Like what happened. I want to know all the secrets, and right now I know nothing. I have no guesses, no anything. I'm hoping that because I'm listening to the audiobook and not physically reading, that I won't have time to properly think things through, because I don't want to guess what's happening. I don't mind guessing like a plot twist or like answers in a mystery like right before they happen, because then I kind of feel smart, but I don't want to guess them like super early on, because then it kind of feels disappointing. But right now I have absolutely zero clue what's going on, and I'm really excited to figure out what is happening in this book. So I feel like that's all I have to say, because I'm not that far into the story, but I'm going to continue listening to it as I work on my bullet journal spreads, so I should be able to finish this quite quickly, which I'm really excited about. So I'm now over halfway through a Goodwills Guide to Murder. I am 6 hours and 53 minutes into it, and I'm working on my bullet journal, so I easily could have just like kept listening and not updated you guys, but I figured I would take a moment, take a breath, and update. So I feel like we are about to get some pretty big information. Pippa has uncovered stuff, and I'm in shock by it, and I'm so excited to figure out what's going on. And I literally, like, we just started a new chapter and I immediately paused after like one word. I was like, no, I need to pick up the camera and just talk about my feelings before something is revealed. So I am really enjoying this book, and I feel like when I typically read like mystery type novels like this, I usually like try to figure out what's going on. I try to figure out, you know, what the answer to the mystery is, I guess. But I think because I'm listening to this as an audiobook, I don't have the time to like pause and actually think through things. So I haven't come up with like any theories of who I think, you know, did something. I don't know. Like I haven't come up with any theories about anything. So I'm truly like going to be shocked probably by anything that happens, because I'm just not stopping to think about it. I'm just like listening to it, whereas if I was reading it physically, I might like actually like put the book down and think for a second before continuing to read. So I'm like really interested to see what my reaction is going to be to whatever is about to happen, and then what's going to happen later on, because I still have 4 hours left in this audiobook. So surely whatever answer we get now isn't like going to conclude the story. I also don't know like the plots of the next couple of books. Like I don't know if it follows one continuous mystery, kind of like the Truly Devious series does, at least for the first 3 books, or if it's like different parts of the mystery, or if it's a different mystery altogether. I have no idea. I also can't remember what the titles of the other books are, so I don't even know if that could allude to something. So I'm like truly in the dark right now. Like I don't know if we're gonna get all the answers in this book, or if I have no idea. I don't know what's gonna happen. So I just wanted to do a little update. Oh my god, I almost started playing. I can't. I don't want to. No. My overall feelings about it though, I'm enjoying it. I like the writing style. I'm really enjoying the audiobook and how it's very similar to the Sadie audiobook, if you guys have listened to that one. I think I've gotten used to the part where she's like in first person then goes back to third person, because I think I might have mentioned that, but basically there's like journal entries and stuff, like her like log that she's keeping about this case, and those are in first person because she's writing it down, but the actual story is told in third person. So at the beginning that was kind of jarring to me, but I'm used to it now and it doesn't bother me. I also think if I was reading it physically it wouldn't bother me at all. It's just because I'm listening to it, so I can't see when it's changing, you know what I mean? So it's a little bit jarring, but I'm used to it now. I don't mind it, but I do like the way that the story is told. I like this kind of format for mystery books. It works well for me. I do like Pippa, but she's not like a favorite character or anything, but I enjoy being in her head and seeing her solve this mystery. I just really enjoy in general reading from the point of view of a character who likes solving mysteries. I just think their minds are so interesting. And I'm also liking Ravi, is that his name? I always have such a hard time remembering characters' names when I listen to audiobooks. I think that's what his name is. Oh god, I don't know. But I really like him as well, and I like the kind of like relationship stuff that's going on between them. Like there's no like actual relationship, but it's just like, I don't know, I get the vibes that there could be something romantic there, but even if they're just friends, I also like that. So basically I'm enjoying it so far, but I really want to know what is about to happen. So I'm gonna get back to listening and working on my bullet journal. But I am scared. I am scared for the information that we could potentially be getting in this next chapter. Okay, so I have now finished A Good Girl's Guide to Murder by Holly Jackson. And I actually did really enjoy this book, which wasn't necessarily a surprise because it is a super hyped up book. I have been getting more into mystery novels recently, and obviously Peyton loves it a whole lot. That's why she recommended it to me in this video. But there is always, you know, that thing where a book is really hyped up and your friend really loves it and wants you to love it too, and it kind of puts this pressure on it. It's like, what if I don't love it that much? I don't know. So I was a little worried, but I was pleasantly surprised. I did really enjoy it. I particularly really loved the audiobook, and I'm really glad that I listened to it on audio. Not like I think I would have enjoyed it less as a physical read, but I do think that listening to it as an audiobook did add to the experience. I did like the mystery. I liked it a lot. I was invested in it. I wanted to know what was going on. I think I mentioned this in a previous clip. Because I was listening to the audiobook, I didn't really have time to like sit and pause and think about things, so I never really had like a proper guess to who I thought the killer was or how I thought this mystery would wrap up. And it's not like I'm glad for that, because I do enjoy that aspect of reading mystery books, but it was also kind of fun to read it this way, to where like when it finally was revealed near the end what actually happened, I could be shocked by it, but I could still make like a callback to other things that had happened, and it made sense to me, like it wasn't out of left field. So I did enjoy the mystery. I'm really satisfied with how it wrapped up, and I'm gonna be honest, going into this book and into the series, I didn't know that like the mystery wrapped up in this first book. So when I finished it, I looked up the synopsis for the second book, and it's still with the main character Pippa, and it has Robbie, and they have like a podcast about what went on in this book, and then there's like another mystery going on, and I'm very interested in what that book's gonna be like. And I really like the characters of Pippa and Robbie, and so I'm excited to continue the series and find out more information about them and kind of see their relationship and connection develop further. So I think they were like some of my favorite parts. I really enjoyed following Pippa and her journey. I love characters who solve mysteries. I just find them really interesting. So one of the reasons that Peyton thought that I was gonna love this book, as she said in the clip that you guys saw at the beginning, she did think that I was going to love it because it's like a page turner. You just have to keep reading it because you want to know what's going on, and it's also just like a fun mystery. So she thought that I would have a great time reading it, and she was not wrong. Like, it was a fun mystery. It didn't like keep me up reading it. Like, she said she was up until like 3 a.m. reading it, but because I was like listening to the audiobook when I was doing my bullet journal, I just kind of kept listening to it without really thinking about it. So it wasn't necessarily like a thing that I decided to do where I'm like sitting there and I like literally can't put the book down, but it very well could have been a situation like that if I had chosen to read it physically, or if I was just listening to it casually and not while I was doing like a long dedicated task. So I don't know, I feel like Peyton was very right to recommend me this book, and I feel like it's good that I read it now because I've been planning this video for a very long time and it's taken me a very long time to get to these books. So she recommended this forever ago, before I really got into many mysteries. But now that I'm obsessed with the Truly Devious series by Maureen Johnson, I feel like this was a good time for me to finally read this book and get invested in another mystery, because it is something that I do want to get into more and it's something that I do enjoy. So I think that Peyton did very well with this pick and I'm really happy that I finally read it. I do understand the hype. It's not like my absolute favorite mystery book I've ever read. I do think Truly Devious will just like hold that title at least for a very long time, just because the vibes of that series are so good. But I will be continuing on with the series. I'm gonna check my library app to see if they have the audiobooks for the other ones, because I would like to continue with that route as opposed to reading them physically. But I'm really glad that Peyton forced me to read this book, because it probably would have taken me a lot longer to get to it had she not recommended it. So I'm really happy with how this reading experience went for me. Okay, so I am 32 minutes into the audiobook of Grown, and my golly, okay, like I read the content warnings and knew what I was getting into here, but I didn't realize that the first chapter would be jumping right into things. Like, that first chapter was intense. Like, it just jumped right into it, and already, like, I feel for our main character Enchanted, and I don't even really, like, know her yet. Like, it was just the first chapter, and I was like, oh my god, like, this is scary. And then the second chapter is just getting to know her more, and I didn't know this, but this book is told in a then and a now timeline. So the first chapter starts off with the now timeline, and that's why it started off so like intensely. And then chapter 2 goes into the then timeline, so it's before everything happens. She's doing an audition for a music competition, which just sounded so stressful, and it's kind of like, I'm assuming, the catalyst for everything. So it's just like wild, and so far I'm enjoying it. The narrator seems fine. I haven't listened to that much of it, so I'm not trying to make an assumption about the whole book yet. I already know that I'm gonna like absolutely love Enchanted, and this book is just gonna break my absolute heart. And it's currently like the week before Christmas as I'm filming this, so this is like not the time to be reading a really heavy book like this. Like, I'm supposed to be reading like happy festive books, and here I am reading a really depressing like thriller. It's not normally the vibe, but I need to get this book done, so here we are. Yeah, I'm very intrigued to know what's gonna happen next. I might try to listen to some of it before I go to bed. Probably not, honestly. Maybe just while like I take my makeup off or something, and then I'm gonna try to replace the times that I normally listen to music with my audiobook, like when I'm getting ready in the mornings, like washing my face, like doing all sorts of things like that. I need to clean my room at some point in the next couple of days as well, and like put some laundry away. I also need to do more laundry, so I'm gonna try to listen to the audiobook in like those moments when I would normally listen to music, so I can try to get it done quickly, because the audiobook expires in like 5 days or something. I really put this off, but so far so good. I'm enjoying it. I'm ready to have my heart broken. I just was not expecting for it to like jump right into it like that, and I also was not anticipating the then and now timeline, but I'm really excited about it because I love timelines like that. So I'm having a good time so far, and I know it's not gonna last. Like, I'm gonna be heartbroken like any minute now. I can just tell like this book is gonna like have no mercy on me. I already know it. So I'm on page 140 of Grown, which translates to 3 hours in the audiobook, and I'm enjoying the book so far. It is obviously a very difficult read just because of the subject matter, and we haven't even really gotten into everything yet. We've just kind of seen glimpses of things, and we have definitely seen signs of the abuser's like true colors, and kind of seeing the control and the anger that he has, and he just kind of keeps slipping up in little ways, and it's like the little lines that he says in his actions that are like hinting to what's to come and how awful he's gonna end up being. And there have been a few moments where like my brain will forget a little bit that he is so much older than our main character, and that he is predatory, and my brain will be like, if he was age appropriate and if he wasn't being such a dick in all these little ways, and this moment could be kind of cute, but like in a completely different context. Like, it's obviously not cute in the way that it is in the book, but I was like, in a different world, with different characters in a different scenario, this thing that's happening could be cute, you know? Am I making any sense? I have no idea. But I am enjoying this. I am very scared to see what's coming, and we just had a chapter that was a then chapter that has me like, what happens? What's going on? And I think I made a clip earlier talking about how it was a dual timeline book, and so far it's not like consistently both timelines. It's mainly in the then timeline, which I meant to say earlier that it was the now timeline, like we had a chapter in the now timeline that had me thinking what was going on. But the book takes place mainly in the then timeline, at least thus far, and I am very intrigued to see more of the now timeline, and also very, very nervous. So I don't know, but I'm enjoying this so far. My audiobook hold ends in 3 days, which means that I have to get listening, because I have nearly 5.5 hours left of listening to do. Okay, so I am now 7 hours into the audiobook of Grown, which means I have 1 hour and 14 minutes left. I did quite a bit of listening to it today. I listened to it while like doing all my like little tasks, like while I was getting ready for the day, while I was doing laundry, while I was doing the dishes, when I was putting a new nail set on. So just like in any moment that I could, I was trying to listen to this audiobook, and oh my goodness, things have gotten really intense. I mean, obviously I'm like at the end of the book, so it makes sense that things are getting really intense, but holy shit. So often while listening to this audiobook, I have like my entire face scrunched up, just being like, what the fuck am I reading? You know what I mean? Like, what the fuck is happening? So many disgusting things have been said, so many disgusting things have been done, and I'm just like in complete and utter like, what the fuck is this? You know what I mean? It's astonishing to me the things that have happened in this book and are continuing to happen, and it's disgusting, and it's made all the more worse by knowing that things like this really do happen in real life, and people do get away with this type of shit because they're celebrities, or you know, whatever the reason may be, and it's just absolutely wild to me. And I almost wish that I was reading this book physically so I could really just take in every single moment and just like pause when I need to. I mean, like I could pause the audiobook, but I'm less likely to pause an audiobook than I am to like pause like reading a physical book. So I find like crazy, intense, shocking things will happen, and I just will like be taken aback for like a second, and then I'll just keep listening, and so it's hard to like fully take in everything that is happening. But holy shit. There's also like one little like mystery thing that's kind of happening that I'm kind of creating a theory around a little bit, possibly, but it's kind of reminding me a little bit of her other book, Monday's Not Coming, that I've read. Kind of a little bit of mind fuckery that's happening right now, so I'm very intrigued to see what happens there. She's very good at writing books where you don't question something as you're reading until you start to question what you're reading. You know what I mean? Like, I wasn't questioning this one thing until characters started questioning it, or things started to get a little weird. And then I start to be like, oh, that makes total sense now. And I start to like think back on the book, and I like see all the puzzle pieces come into play. I think Tiffany D. Jackson is such a fantastic writer, so talented, and just the way she crafts novels is like astonishing to me. Just, yeah, pure talent. I'm obsessed with her storytelling. But this book is really hard to listen to and really hard to read. So if you're thinking of reading it, please do pay attention to those content warnings at the beginning of the book, because they are just, yeah, like there are some things where it's just like, holy shit, that is not good. And I can definitely see it be potentially triggering for some people. But I just, wow. I think that Tiffany D. Jackson tackles really hard topics, and she does it in such like a real and like scary way. I remember reading Monday's Not Coming, and it just like absolutely broke me apart, and I think it's just the way that she writes these things feels so authentic and real. Like I feel like I'm reading about a real girl right now, and it's heartbreaking. And I hate saying this because like it doesn't make any sense, but like I'm enjoying this book, but obviously like I'm not enjoying it, you know what I mean? Like, but I'm really liking this book, and I think it's one of those books that I might like more if I reread it physically, because like I said, I can just take things in way more when I'm like sitting and staring at the words. But obviously for convenience and time, I had to listen to the audiobook. But I just, my god. Sorry, I'm like staring at the cover of the audiobook right now, and I'm just like seeing Enchanted and just remembering everything that she's going through in this book. and it's absolutely heartbreaking. Like, it's so fucked up. It's so fucked up. At this current moment, I think I enjoyed Monday's Not Coming maybe a little bit more. I'm not entirely sure yet. Maybe that is just because I read that one physically. But I'm really liking this book. I think it's really fucked up, but I think it's really, really well done. So I'm hoping to finish this tomorrow, which is good because it expires in like 2 days. But I just, holy shit. This book is just attacking me, and I'm honestly scared for how it's gonna end. But like, wild things have happened. Like, absolutely wild things. I can't. So I have just finished Grown by Tiffany D. Jackson, and I've been sitting here for like a handful of minutes trying to like put my thoughts into like words, but I'm just utterly like speechless. Like, I don't know what to say about this book, but my goodness, that was a wild ride. And I think if I think too hard about the things that happen in this book, I might just cry. So I'm gonna try not to do that. But my goodness, this book was so powerful and impactful, and like, I just read all the blurbs on the back of the book and they all ring true. Also, the author's note and the acknowledgements just had me like staring at a wall. Like, I was just like in a trance listening to those parts. This book deals obviously with a lot of like heavy topics, and it deals with being a young black girl, and it just broke my heart. So many things happened in this book. The entire like last bit of the book had me just like, what the fuck? Like, it had me questioning everything every like 2 seconds. Yeah, like I don't know how to talk about this book. I don't know how to put what I'm feeling and thinking into like eloquent sentences. Like, wow, what a story. What a story. Since I can't put my thoughts on the book into like proper words, let me talk about Tiffany D. Jackson as a writer. I think that she is so talented, and just the way that she tells stories is so impactful, and I thought the same thing about Monday's Not Coming. Like, I think she told this story in the absolute best way possible. I have no thoughts. But I think Peyton did a good job in picking this book for me. I mean, obviously she knew that I was interested in it and had a good chance of liking it because I do love Monday's Not Coming so much. So she definitely had an advantage in that, in picking this book. But she did a good job because this book was really good, and I feel like it's really gonna stick with me for a while. It was just, oh my god. Like, the things that happened in this book have me sick to my stomach. Oh my god, like, I don't know what to say about it anymore, but I'm just like, what the fuck? What the fuck?
My name is Aza. You may know me as Aza All Booked on the internet, and I am here today to destroy Peyton. Simply put, that's what I've come here to do today. So, I am going to show you guys 2 books that I picked out for Brittany. Brittany and I have pretty similar reading tastes, honestly. If she loves a book, most times I love it. And vice versa, so I feel like this wasn't too hard for me, not gonna lie, but Peyton, watch out. Anyway, so the first one being Let's Talk About Love by Claire Kahn. This book, it follows a girl named Alice who's coming to terms with her asexuality after being dumped by her girlfriend. So this book takes place over the summer. It's bookish. Alice works in a library, which is really, really cute. And over the summer, while she's working in this library, she meets a guy who sort of makes her question like the different levels of her attraction. So I really love this book. It's really, really cute. Like, on the cuteness factor, it's like up there. So I definitely think she's gonna like this one. I have tabs in it. It's so cute. I definitely think Brittany is going to enjoy. Let's Talk About Love. So this is the first book I picked for her. Okay, so the second book I picked out for Brittany is I almost said Tweet Cute. No, this isn't Tweet Cute. This is You Have a Match. I picked You Have a Match because, like Brittany, I really like Tweet Cute. I read that book last year and I really enjoyed it. So I decided to give Brittany You Have a Match because it's just as good as Tweet Cute in my opinion. So this book, it is a Parent Trap-esque book, and it follows a girl named Abby who finds out that she has a sister through a DNA service. It turns out that that sister she didn't even know she had is a pretty famous online like Instagram influencer type of girl. So they decide to meet up at this camp to sort of hash out the details of why, and try to figure out why the girl, her name is Savannah, was adopted, and try to figure out what happened between their parents, because their parents used to be friends and there's a fallout. So yeah, it also has a friends to lovers sort of situation in this book, and I think it was really cute. So I think Brittany will like this book, and I think Brittany's gonna like this book. I think Peyton is gonna lose. I'm ready to take Peyton down. I'm sorry, I did not come here to play, okay? Have fun reading.
So I'm on page 48 of Let's Talk About Love by Claire Kahn, and I just had to make an update because the scene that we just got was so adorable. It was a scene between our main character and the love interest, and this is like the second time that they've interacted, and this is like their first real kind of full conversation, if you could call it that. And it was just so cute. Like, I am on board with them so much right now, from just like the small little interaction that we've had. Like, I am obsessed with the love interest. It is just, it's gonna be so good, I can already tell. But let's talk about like my other overall thoughts so far. So obviously I'm not very far into the story, so I don't have like too many thoughts yet, like on the plot or the characters beyond the really cute romance that is brewing. But I wanted to talk about the writing style for a second. So overall, I'm really enjoying it. I'm liking the way that Claire Kahn is like describing things, and just like the way she words things is really pleasing to my brain. But I am having like one little issue with it that I think is gonna bother me potentially less and less as I read on and the more invested I get in the story. But she has this thing with the writing style, which maybe it's just for this book. I don't know if this is how she writes all of her books, but with this one, she's putting a lot of things in parentheses, like multiple times on a page. She'll put something in parentheses. I noticed it on the little snippet on the back that they put here that she did it like 3 times, and I was like, oh, if she does that consistently, it might be an issue. Like, I might find that annoying. And that's proving to be correct because she is doing it a lot. Like, there's at least 1 parentheses thing on like every single page, usually though more than that. I'm just finding it a little annoying. It's just one of those things where it's like, the more you do it, the more annoying it gets. But I'm hoping, like I said, that the more invested I get in the story, the less I will care or notice. But yeah, just little things like that are not my favorite. But like I said, in general, I am enjoying the writing style. It's just that one little thing. But just based, like I said, on that one scene with the main character and the love interest, I think I'm gonna fall in love with this story so much that's not even gonna matter, that I'm just gonna forget that they're even there, and I'll just be reading and enjoying the story. So I'm very excited to get back into reading this. I think it's gonna be a very quick read because the chapters are relatively short, so I just found myself like sitting there and being like, okay, another chapter, okay, another chapter, because they go by so quickly. There's also like the occasional like text conversation, so that also makes it go by a bit faster. So overall, I'm really enjoying this so far. I felt like an instant connection to it in the first chapter. Like, we really just like jump right into things. I'm really excited to keep on reading this one. I am now on page 130, and I just desperately wish that I could stay up and finish this book, but I really need to go to bed because it's 2 in the morning. So as much as I want to finish this and as much as I'm enjoying it, I do need to go to bed. But I'm really loving the way that this relationship is progressing. I'm really liking our main character and the like discussions around asexuality and her coming to terms with the fact that like sexuality is always changing and like what it means to you is always changing. I'm really enjoying it. It's really good. I love the friendships in it. I'm really enjoying it so far. So I'm going to read more of this tomorrow, hopefully finish it tomorrow, but for right now I need to go to bed, even though I desperately do not want to. You have no idea how hard it is for me right now to put this book down and not just like breeze through it, but I would be up far too late reading it, so I need to go to bed. If I do not stop now, I will not stop. So, my goodness. Okay, I will see you tomorrow to finish Let's Talk About Love. Okay, I am now on page 251 of Let's Talk About Love, and I'm gonna be honest, I could easily just finish this book and not have updated you, but I knew that I wanted to have more updates for this book because I'm pretty sure I don't have that many, because this has just been such a quick and easy and fun read that I've just been like flying through it and not thinking about updating the vlog. So here we are. I've made the conscious effort to stop reading for a minute so I can tell you guys all of my thoughts. I'm like literally almost done. Like, there's barely anything left in this book. We have like around 20 something pages left in this book, like 27, 26 pages left. I'm gonna finish this like in a few minutes here, and I'm really excited about it, but I just wanted to update you on my thoughts thus far. They're pretty much the same as they were in the last clips that I made. I'm just really enjoying the romance in this book, and like they're not even like together yet or anything, but just all of their moments together are so beautiful. Like, I just love the way that they interact with each other, and we've been having some very important conversations between our main character and the love interest recently, and I've been really enjoying how they're being handled and how the love interest is kind of navigating these conversations. I'm also really loving the character development that our main character has kind of been going throughout the book. She's been talking to a counselor to kind of help her sort through her feelings and everything that she's going through. Some difficult things with her parents have just happened, which is hard to read about. While this book deals with like some heavier, deeper topics, like our main character being ace and being bi and figuring out what that means for her and how to navigate that with other people, and how she's been burned in the past with people not reacting in the right way and treating her like shit, and how she's going to navigate that with further relationships if that's even something that she wants. And then there's also, you know, again, conversations with parents and expectations from parents, and how to live a life for yourself without feeling all this like guilt for disappointing your parents, and just a lot of conversations around that. We've been having some difficult conversations with friends too. There's been some friendship struggles in this book, which I really enjoy, and it's obviously very natural for friendships to, you know, have little fights and stuff. So overall, like, I don't have like really any complaints about this book. I'm still not loving the whole like bracket parentheses moments. That's just not something that I enjoy in books when it's used excessively. If it was just a couple of times, it'd be fine, but it is very often, and that's just not one of my favorite things in the world. But I'm not as bothered by it now as I was in the beginning, which is what I predicted. I'm just fully here for the story and for these characters, and I'm having a really good time with them, and I just really want to finish this book. So I'm gonna stop talking about it. I'm gonna go sit down and I'm going to finish this wonderful book. Okay, I just read one chapter and I really should have realized that we're this close to the end of the book, so something bad had to happen. Just didn't think it was gonna happen in like the literal next chapter, so that was kind of depressing, and I just want things to be resolved right now. Like, make things okay, make things better, please. I'm begging you, because this, I don't want this. I just finished Let's Talk About Love, and I really enjoyed it. I don't know what it was about it, but there was just something about these characters and this romance that just really captivated me, and now I'm mad that it took me literally so long to get to this book. But I loved it. I really did. The ending there felt like the tiniest bit rushed to me, like just like the resolution of everything, because like, you know, something bad happened, third act breakup vibes, and then things were better like really quickly. I would have liked that maybe to have been drawn out a little bit longer, but with that being said, that did not like ruin my enjoyment of the book literally at all. I couldn't even like be upset about it or angry about it while I was reading, because I was like, this is just so cute. So like, am I really like upset about it? No. Is that really a complaint? No. We're just gonna move on, but I wanted to mention it. I thoroughly enjoyed this book. Asa really picked a good book for me with this one. It was so good. Like, that romance was everything to me. Okay, Takumi, I'm obsessed with him. I realize I don't think I've said these characters' names yet in this vlog. Takumi and Alice, obsessed with them. Yeah, I don't know. I I have no words. I literally just finished this book like a second ago. Like, I just finished reading the acknowledgements, and I loved it. I love contemporary books. I love romance. It's so good. I started You Have a Match by Emma Lord. I'm listening to the audiobook right now, and I'm about 50 minutes into it, which translates to chapter 3, page 29. I was listening to it as I was falling asleep last night, and so I feel like I wasn't like fully paying attention, which maybe that was a mistake on my part. But so far, I like the vibes of it. I think I forgot that this might like be comp to The Parent Trap. Maybe. Am I making that up? I have no idea. But so far, I like the vibes. It kind of jumps right into the story. But so far, I do like the vibes. There is something going on between the main character and her friend Leo, I think his name was, which I hope we see more of. I was just reading the description to see if we were going to get more of like a romance, or if it was just going to be like a sister story. But it looks like we're going to be getting some romance, which we love. I really like Emma Lord's writing style. I don't know what it is about it, but it's just like very enjoyable. Like, I remember thinking last night as I was listening that I just really liked her writing style, and kind of like how she words things in regards to like the emotional feelings that the characters have. I don't know if I'm making much sense right now, but basically I just want to say that I am currently enjoying it. I'm intrigued to continue reading and learn more about it and to kind of get to the summer camp that is featured on the cover. I just think it's going to be a really good time. So enjoying it so far, and I'm excited to continue. Okay, so it is like an absurdly long time later. I think I filmed that first clip that you guys just saw in like September, maybe? It was like a long time ago. Maybe even August. I don't know. It was a long time ago. It is now currently April. I have been filming this vlog over a very, very long period of time. It is actually ridiculous. Like, I think I've been planning it and like filming it since 2021. So I've been really dropping the ball on these videos. However, I'm reading You Have a Match, and I'm physically reading it now. Last time I saw you guys, I was listening to the audiobook. Obviously, I did not finish it then. I read no more after updating with that clip. I honestly have no excuses. I don't even remember why I put it down in the first place. Did I say what page I'm on? I'm on page 176, and I'm actually really enjoying myself. We have a Joey coming to weigh in with his opinion, but I'm really enjoying it so far. I'm like nearing the end. I'm definitely going to finish it today. Aza said she picked this book because I liked Tweet Cute, and she thinks that it's just as good as Tweet Cute. We also do tend to have a very similar reading taste. We both really love contemporary books, and so I knew that I was gonna enjoy this book, and I am having a really fun time with it. I'm really enjoying the like romantic relationship that's kind of brewing here. It's like a friends to lovers trope, and I feel like while I do love that trope, I feel like I don't read a lot of books that have that trope in it, and so I'm really enjoying seeing those dynamics. I just love the tension that comes with a friends to lovers trope, where like they like the other person but they don't want to risk messing up their friendship if the other person doesn't feel the same way, and they don't want to mess up like friendship dynamics if they're in a friend group together. There's just a lot of things going on with friends to lovers tropes, and I really enjoy it. So really liking what's happening between Leo and our main character Abby. I'm also just liking like all of the characters in general. I'm liking the sister character Savvy and her friend Mickey that she totally has a crush on, and then there's also a character named Finn who is at the summer camp with them. I want to know more about him, and I think we're going to learn more about him soon. They've kind of made hints to like his family life that I'm very intrigued to know more about. But I really love Emma Lord's writing style. I think it's so like easy to read, but it's also very like real. Like all the characters feel real, like the way they talk feels real, and I just really like the way she words things, you know, like it just sounds very nice. It's fun to read. It just feels like all of these characters are real people and they have their own lives going on. Like every character feels like well-rounded, and like they all have their own thing going on. Like they all have their own ambitions and things that they're working towards, and I really enjoy that because it feels like they're all gonna each have their own arc, which is really fun. So I'm really enjoying this book. Right now I don't know if I'm liking it more than Tweet Cute. It's been a long time since I've read Tweet Cute, so I'm not really going to try and compare the two, but overall I'm really enjoying it. I like the summer camp setting. I don't think I've read like any books set at a summer camp, and if I have, it's been like very few, but I'm really enjoying those like Parent Trap vibes and having like practically the whole book set at this summer camp. And I'm like really intrigued to know what's going to happen in the last section of this book, and I honestly could have just kept reading and not updated you guys at all because I did not want to put this book down, but I figured that I really should update you guys, and if I didn't do it now, I wasn't gonna do it. So here we are. I'm about to finish this book, and I'm really excited to see what happens in this last little chunk, and depending what kind of happens with the romance, my enjoyment could go up way more than it currently is, which is already at like a pretty high level. So I'm very excited. Okay, so I've now finished You Have a Match by Emma Lord, and I really ended up enjoying this book. I'm not gonna lie, I got emotional at a few points. Joey is just so desperately trying to join this conversation again. My goodness. So yeah, I really ended up enjoying this. I got emotional at a few points, like tears were springing to my eyeballs. None of them fell, but they definitely were there and present in the eyeballs. Jojo, what'd you think of the book, huh? He didn't read it. He was sleeping. This book heavily focuses obviously on this sister relationship, and that is like the main focus of it, and I really enjoyed it. I really enjoyed seeing these two characters who at the beginning of the book didn't know who the other one was. They were complete strangers to each other, and I really enjoyed seeing their relationship grow over the book. Like, they didn't get along right away necessarily, like they had some arguments, some like disagreements, and some clashing of their like personality and everything, and I really enjoyed the friendship that they created and the eventual like very natural sisterly relationship that they had by the end. I really enjoyed that. There was romance in this book, which I also really enjoyed. I thought it was very cute. I would have liked maybe a little bit more from it, but like I did just say, I feel like the sister relationship and the family dynamics were definitely the main focus of the story, and so that's what I'm gonna focus on a little bit and not be upset that there wasn't as much romance as I would have liked. But there still was a decent amount. It was very cute. I really liked, like I mentioned earlier, the dynamic between Leo and Abby. I think that it was done very well. I liked the way that it wrapped up. It was very satisfying to me, and I just found them very cute and sweet, and I'm happy with how things wrapped up. I also really enjoyed the relationship that Savvy ended up in. It was also very cute. Just very cute, like friends to lovers vibes in this book, which I really enjoyed. And I really enjoyed uncovering all of these secrets surrounding this situation, surrounding these two sisters, and why the one sister has been hidden away for all of these years, and our main character Abby didn't know about her, and vice versa. So I really enjoyed the unraveling of that, and I thought it was quite satisfying, and I really liked the conversations that all the characters had with each other and how that all came about. So all in all, this was like a very solid YA contemporary. I really enjoyed it. I liked the characters, I liked the story, the vibes were great. It was an easy read. I read most of it today, and I just had like a really fun time reading it, and I'm really glad that Aza picked it for this video. Okay, so it's time for my final thoughts of this reading vlog, and to declare the winner between Peyton and Aza, who knows my reading taste the best. I actually finished reading the last book quite a while ago, and I've been thinking a lot about who's gonna win this episode, so I'm super excited to get to that, but that's gonna be in a minute. First, we gotta talk about just my final thoughts overall. So we'll start with Peyton's book. So like I said at the beginning of this video, it's taken me a really long time to film this video. I read the first book for this video back in 2021, the end of 2021. It was Grown by Tiffany D. Jackson. Read that a long time ago. So I do feel like I've done people a disservice in this video, Peyton mainly, by taking so long to read everyone's books. So I don't remember a whole lot about Grown, but I remember really loving it. I love Tiffany D. Jackson. And then I did read A Good Girl's Guide to Murder more recently, and I really enjoyed that one as well. I'm really excited to continue the series. I'm waiting for my hold on the second book to come in at my library, but I'm really excited to continue and see where the story goes, although I might need a refresher on book one because I'm already forgetting way too many details. But yeah, I feel like Peyton chose really great books for this video. I mean, this is not her first time doing this, you know. This is her third time doing this for the series, and she's really good at it, so I really enjoyed her two picks. And then we have Aza, who obviously is brand new to this video series, but we have very similar reading tastes to each other. We both love YA contemporary romances or romances in general, so I knew that she would be a great person to pit up against Peyton and see if she can possibly dethrone her. And I really loved both of Aza's books as well. You Have a Match was really good. I find it funny that she chose that one because Tweet Cute was one of Peyton's picks in the very first video in this series, so I thought that was kind of like a fun full circle little moment. And then I also really loved Let's Talk About Love. They were both so adorable. So I guess it's time to crown a winner. Okay, but I think the winner of the third episode of Which BookTube Friend Knows My Reading Tastes the Best, oh my god, it's Aza from Aza All Booked. Aza's the winner. I feel like I'm betraying Peyton. Like, I feel like I've just broken Peyton's heart. I can hear it shattering. I can hear her screaming in the distance. I'm so sorry, Peyton. Like, this one was so hard to do, honestly, because I enjoyed every single book. There was not a single book in this video that I didn't enjoy. I just think I enjoyed Aza's a little bit more. God, this was really hard though. Like, it makes me really sad to dethrone Peyton. She's been a staple of these videos, and she's obviously one of my very best friends, so it hurts. It hurts to dethrone her. I'm so sorry, Peyton, but it had to be done. I couldn't, like, I would be lying if I did not pick Aza because her books were just perfect. I love them so much. I need to get a copy of Let's Talk About Love because I do not own it, and I just returned it to the library yesterday as I'm filming this, and I already dearly miss looking at it and thinking about it, and I love that book so much. So yeah, I think Aza just knocked this out of the park, and it would be a disservice not to choose her as the winner. So congratulations, Aza, you are the winner of this video. Finally, years in the making, this video is finally over. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I don't know when or if I'm gonna do a 4th part to this series. I would like to. I do have more friends that I'd like to get recommendations from, but I think it's gonna need to be a little while before I do it since it took me so long to do this video. Like, I just need to be free from this concept for a little bit. But if you guys like this video, give it a huge thumbs up. Subscribe if you have not yet already, and I will see you guys next time. Bye.